Apple very recently released the MacBook Neo, and at first glance, it actually looks like a really strong option. It's newer, it's got a brighter display, and it's running a more modern chip with a lot more modern capabilities. But then you've got the M1 MacBook Air, which is now 5 years old and is still one of the most recommended laptops out there, and questionably one of the best budget laptops you can buy, still to this day. So instead of saying which one is better than the other, let's answer a much more useful question. Which one actually makes sense for you? On this channel, we focus on getting real value out of tech, not just chasing whatever's newest. And this comparison is a perfect example of why that matters. Because both of these laptops are good, they just excel in completely different ways. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear idea of which fits your usage. Because the differences aren't obvious until you really break them down. Starting with performance, the MacBook Neo actually comes out strong in a way a lot of people might not expect. It uses the A18 Pro chip. Yes, that is the same chip in the iPhone 16 Pro, but trust me, it performs extremely well. And in benchmarks, it delivers higher single-core performance and even slightly edges out the M1 in multi-core scores. Now, what that means in real life is that for everyday tasks like browsing, opening apps, and general usage, the Neo is going to feel fast and responsive. It's quick in short bursts, and for most casual users, that's exactly what you notice. But once you move beyond that into heavier workloads, things start to shift. The M1 MacBook Air has more CPU cores overall and more GPU cores, and that gives it an advantage. In sustained performance, if you're editing videos, coding, working on creative projects, or pushing your laptop harder over longer periods, the M1 tends to hold up more consistency. It's less about which one is faster and more about how you use it. If your workload is light and everyday, the Neo feels quick and modern. If your workload is heavier or more demanding, the M1 has the edge in sustainability and graphics performance. Even though the Neo has faster cores, it has 6 cores. The MacBook M1 Air has 8 cores. So even though the cores in the Neo are faster, in real life performance, the M1 MacBook Air still holds up to this day. Memory is where the difference becomes a lot more practical long term. The MacBook Neo is locked to 8GB of memory, which is fine for general use today, but it doesn't give you much room to grow. Even with Apple's efficiency with how these MacBooks sip RAM like fine wine, it still tends to show in heavier tasks. The M1 MacBook Air, on the other hand, can be configured with up to 16GB, and it makes a noticeable difference if you tend to multitask or keep your devices for several years. It's not something everyone will notice immediately, but over time it becomes more important, especially as apps get more demanding. So, if your usage is fairly light and straightforward, the Neo will handle it without any issues. Internet browsing, typing documents, etc. But if you're thinking longer term, or you know you tend to push your devices a bit more, the extra memory option on the M1 starts to make a lot of sense. When it comes to the display, both laptops are sharp and high resolution, with exactly the same resolution screen, but they prioritize different things. The MacBook Neo has a slightly brighter, reaching up to 500 nits, which makes it easier to use in well-lit environments or outdoors. The M1 MacBook Air isn't quite as bright, topping out at 400 nits, but it supports wide color P3 and True Tone, and it gives a more accurate and richer colors. So if you spend a lot of time in brighter environments or mainly consuming content, the Neo's brightness can really be useful. But if you care more about color accuracy, especially for editing photos or videos, the M1 display is still a better choice. One of the more important differences comes down to connectivity. The M1 MacBook Air includes Thunderbolt support, which opens up a lot of possibilities if you plan to use external displays, fast storage, or more advanced desk setup. The MacBook Neo doesn't support Thunderbolt, and while its ports are positioned in a very similar position to the M1, it does limit what you can do with it long term. For simple use, like charging and plugging in headphones, you won't really notice. But if you plan to expand your setup or use accessories, the M1 gives you a lot more flexibility. Let's be honest, the 215GB and 512GB options for storage, you're going to need an external storage at some point down the line. And the Thunderbolt really does help. MacBook Neo does bring some clear improvements when it comes to media and communication. It has a 1080p camera compared to the 720p camera on the M1, and it also supports spatial audio and Dolby Atmos, which improves the experience when watching content. The speakers on the M1 point upwards, while on the Neo they point to the side. So in my opinion, the M1 speakers do sound better. The Neo even includes hardware supports for ProRes and AV1 decoding, which helps with modern playback videos. So if you spend a lot of time on video calls or watching content, the Neo definitely feels more up to date in this area. The M1 is still perfectly fine, but it doesn't quite match those newer features. The microphone on the Neo with the dual surround also does sound better. Now, this is something that doesn't always get talked about, but it can make a real difference depending on what you're doing. Storage speeds. In testing, the SSD inside the M1 MacBook Air actually delivers faster read and write speeds compared to the MacBook Neo. And that shows up in real-world tests, like exporting videos, rendering projects, or transferring large files. It doesn't mean the Neo is slow. It still handles those tasks just fine, but the M1 completes them quicker thanks to those faster SSD speeds. So, if your workflow involves a lot of large files or creating work, this is one of those hidden advantages that can save you time every single day. Alongside speed, there are also questions of capacity. The MacBook Neo is limited to 256 gigabytes or 512 gigabytes, while the M1 MacBook Air can go all the way up to 2 terabytes, depending on the configuration that you choose. For many people, the lower options will be enough. But if you work with larger files or just want more flexibility long term, the M1 gives you more room to grow. Of course, we have to talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to the M1 MacBook Air. This is now a 5-year-old laptop, and Apple are very, very well known for dropping support for chips. However, there is this grey area over the M1 because it is so capable. Will they extend that time period? Normally they're about 7 years or so for the support on the software. We'll have to just sit and wait. That could be an option that maybe you only have another 2 or 3 years left of support on this software. Just one thing to consider. So, looking at pricing, the MacBook Neo starts at $599 and goes up to $699 for the higher storage model with Touch ID. The M1 MacBook Air, being older, obviously they do not sell these brand new anymore. You can pick these up secondhand at quite fairly decent prices. They range anywhere for a lower base model for $300, and they can range all the way up to $699 depending on the configuration for the higher storage and RAM configurations. So the decision here isn't just about price, it's about what you're getting for that price. The Neo gives you newer features and a simpler experience, while the M1 gives you more flexibility, stronger sustainable performance, and faster storage in certain workflows. So when it comes down to choosing between them, it really depends on how you plan to use your laptop. If your usage is mostly everyday tasks, you want something simple and modern, you value a brighter screen, better webcam, and newer media features, then the MacBook Neo makes a lot of sense. It feels fast, it's easy to use, and it covers the basics really well. But if your workload is heavier, or you're working on larger files, editing videos, or multitasking more intensely, the M1 MacBook Air starts to stand out. The options for memory, the stronger GPU performance, Thunderbolt support, and faster SSD speeds all add up in those scenarios. The one other thing that a lot of people talk about is gaming. Obviously, Apple is not made for gaming. The M1 MacBook Air can game, and people have very recently made the Neo game as well and tested out the performance. So it can be done on both. However, they're not made for gaming. Do not expect from either of them the best performance in games. At the end of the day, this isn't about one laptop being better than the other. It's about choosing the one that matches how you actually use your tech. Because both of these are still great options. They just solve very different problems for different people. So if you found this helpful, drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this or reviving older tech. Come and help me make the revolution to save in the e-waste pile. And I'll see you guys in the next one.